Hey, what's up guys? This is MugenLord here, and today I want to do a little something different here in this video. This video is going to be a bit more of a discussion, me asking you guys a question in particular when it comes to gaming. And this question is something that's been in debate for quite some time, especially on social media. And that question is, should a game's price be determined based upon a game's length? The time and the duration, how long it takes for you to complete a game, and how much time as far as the story is concerned for you to actually complete the campaign. So before we dive into this topic, you should hit that subscribe button, notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So let's dive into it. I think this is a really good question, and I definitely want to just hear your thoughts on it and see where your head is at when it comes to this. Now, what brought this question up was something that was quite interesting. Now, you guys already know that Spider-Man 2 is pretty much not too far from release. And just recently, if you guys don't know, over social media, somebody had leaked out Spider-Man 2 over the internet. I mean, everything, gameplay, cutscenes, story elements, and including the ending itself. So a lot of Sony fans are upset. And there's a lot of console war aspects that's going into it because of, the Xbox fans, was talking about how the Sony fans was attacking them about Starfield and everything, and the leak of Starfield. And now this is like somehow payback to the Sony fans. And it's a lot of nonsense in between, a lot of mess. But more importantly, there was a tweet that popped up that many people was also discussing because when the game was leaked, people had discovered that the game is going to be 15.3 hours to beat for the main story and around 26 hours to platinum the entire game. So a lot of people saying that this is a really short game, and some people believe that it shouldn't cost this game $70 for the overall experience if the game is going to be a total of 26 hours and to also platinum a game. Now, this is why I wanted to talk to you guys about it, because this is something that many gamers has debated for a very long time. We already know that gaming in general is no longer becoming a hobby. It's starting to become like a luxury because gaming is getting more and more expensive. It seems like each generation, the price, it just keep hiking itself up. Game development and a lot of technology and bigger and bigger studios is starting to get involved when creating these massive titles, or not even just massive titles, just titles in general is now becoming $70. Now, I kind of seen this coming because we seen it with the $60, the last generation, and I'm like, it would be funny if they go to $70. And then we already have Capcom also saying that they should charge even higher for a game, and we'll talk about that in a whole nother video because this is getting ridiculous. But it seems like this is the only industry that continues to do this. I don't know how long this is able to hold and sustain itself as these prices increase, because I mean, if we start getting to like $100 as the base price for a game, I don't know, maybe I'll just stick to PC gaming or something at this point, because that's ridiculous, paying $100 for a game. Now, I digress. Now, let's talk about this question here. Does the duration, or how long it takes to complete the main campaign, should that be predicated upon its price? Now, me, in my personal opinion, I don't think that a game that's cost $70 should be just predicated upon how long it takes for you to beat a game. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, these days, man, I don't know why people have this obsession of wanting these long games. It's like 60, 70 to 100 hours. Right now, I don't have time, especially more specifically for me and what I do in my life and everything like that. I don't have time to sit down and play a 60-hour game, a 70-hour game like I used to. I have so many responsibilities. I have so many different business ventures that I'm working on. I'm also a full-time single father. So I have a lot of things just going on that I really can't sit down for hours and hours and play. I mean, to some people, this is like a job. They will play for 7 hours a day. Sometimes I don't even get an hour of gameplay most of the time. So for me, I don't think a game should be predicated, and its price should be predicated upon the duration of a game. And besides that, just because a game is 60 to 70 hours, is it really packed with content? Because this is what we're getting sometimes when we have games where you have these big open world experiences where, the game is massive. You have all these hours. But as far as content, is it really like meaningful content? Or is it just filler content just to pad out those hours? Like, for example, I give you like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, I'm a fan of Final Fantasy VII, so I know the Final Fantasy VII story, structure, I know the lengths of the game and everything, But with Final Fantasy VII Remake, they had decided to divide it into a trilogy. And with Final Fantasy, the first game within the remake, it only took place in Midgar. Now, a person who played Final Fantasy VII, you could spend about maybe 3 to 5 hours in Midgar. And that's only the beginning of the game in Final Fantasy VII. Now, with Final Fantasy VII Remake, the first game only takes place in Midgar. So you get where I'm going with this. That's 3 to 5 hours of gameplay on the original game. Now they took that game on the remake and only focused on Midgar, and they stretched it for about 30 to 40 hours for the main campaign. So do you understand, besides adding different story elements to it, to tell the narrative of that 3 to 5 hour story within Midgard itself, do you understand the amount of padding? Which, yes, the game did have some padding in the game in terms of story and questing, a lot of fetch questing, a lot of running back and forth. And you will find that trend in plenty of other games of that extent, to where, you have all these hours, but what are you doing with those hours? Are they meaningful hours? And which is why I believe $70 plus the duration of the game should not correlate to one another at all. Because I paid $70 for this, but this game is just nothing but filler. Like, it feels as though that I just wasted my time with this. So I think other factors should play into that as far as I'm concerned. For example, there should be, I would say that maybe if to add into that category, does the game has replay value, where you just constantly keep going back playing the game over and over and over again to unlock different things or to get different branching paths as far as the story. You have the game Sifu. I know Sifu is not really that long of a game, but there's a ton of replayability within that game, where you just constantly keep going back to the drawing board, constantly keep playing the game to see how efficiently you can run through the game. What about the Resident Evil remakes? Resident Evil Remake 2. What about Resident Evil Remake 4? Is that worth the $70? And most Resident Evil games don't take that long to clear. Most Resident Evil games you can clear within like 5, maybe 6 hours, or even shorter than that. But that game has a ton of replayability that you just constantly keep coming back, playing that game over and over and over again. And there's plenty of other examples that you can constantly keep pulling out of that when it comes to, playing video games. So I don't think necessarily that the game's time length necessarily should tie into its price, because there's a lot of games out there that, hell no, it's not even worth $70, despite how long those games are. But as far as other categories is concerned, like, are you having a good time with it? And I think that's also what it matters. Is it packed with content, meaningful content? Is it fun? Does it have replayability? I think those are the categories right there in itself to determine whether or not if the game is worth $70. That's the only thing. I think what's ridiculous is, yes, you do have some developers that's charging you $70 and the game's just doesn't have nothing going for it. The game is flat, the game is empty. And like, perfect example, back last generation, you had Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, or you had like Street Fighter V last generation. Barely anything in it. Most of the features was chopped, most of the features were cut. The basic the basic features that you will find in a fighting game wasn't there, but you was being charged premium price. That's a perfect example of, charging the price of something, but yet you're not really getting a lot of content, not having an arcade mode or a proper arcade mode, you know, or a survival mode, little features like that even that's missing, you know, from a game. So those are perfect examples of, like, you know, why should I pay a price for this premium price, and then yet this game lacks some of the basic features that you would find in a video game. So I think that's where we have to really, you know, draw the line or discuss whether or not, hey, this is worth the price right here. And also, I believe remasters, especially if the game is 1-to-1, not much things are changed to it, not even down to the gameplay mechanics. And I think Square Enix did a good job. I think, you know, with Final Fantasy VII Reunion, that wasn't like a full price game, because that's pretty much a remake itself, and I think those are special cases to where, no, that should not be premium price at all. I think that's also where we should draw the line for that. But overall, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on this topic as far as that's concerned when it comes to gaming and its price, like how much a game's price should be determined upon when it comes to, you know, the game and its fun factor and everything of a sort. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe button for more gaming content on this channel. This is MugenLord, sign off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.